The power of doing it together, to me, is divine. If I can be myself in a meeting or with a group of people, and other people can be themselves, and you can tell your truth, and then we can create something bigger and better out of that. We're all looking for a way of moving forward. And the seventh ray, the age of Aquarius, this age of the water bearer of Maitreya, this is the moving forward that we have worked through all of these other rays to get here now. Now we're at the point of sharing this. This is the seventh ray. This is the end of this period. And when we start over in the age of Capricorn in about 2,200 years, that'll be ray one again. I'm not going to get into that. That's quite a ways away. All you have to do now is try, ask for help, try to be wholesome. What gives you comfort, and how can you serve and make this world a better place?
Sounds like a very hopeful and optimistic future for all of us.
I think it's there's a dichotomy there also, and I've been thinking a lot lately on the dichotomies of how nothing's totally this way or that way. Well, we can get too involved in working with other people to where we don't do enough of our own work. There's always too much, and I like the Chinese medicine of, if you're too happy, that's not good either. Well, there's that, darn it. So it's the middle path. I think in many ways, we're looking for the middle path. We're looking at a way. My daddy used to say, and I've said this before, but I like to talk about him. He was so wonderful. He said, you're going all the way to the left with something. Now you're going all the way to the right with something. Sooner or later, you'll come more to the middle, and you're not going to go so far to either side. And that can happen with age. It happens with education. It happens with love. When we love things, we will seek that middle path, and we will seek a way to spiritualize matter by seeing what is divine for us, what matters to us. Because that's probably your soul talking.
Yes, it's time to start listening.
When I do that, my life goes well. When I don't, I might just ask my husband or my cat. Well, there she goes again, the volcano. But even the lava eventually calms down too.
It all comes back to a reasonable middle way you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying it, a reasonable middle way. In other words, what kind of wisdom can I put into this situation? Because I've been here before. I'm not going to let my emotions run over me. I'm not going to let my emotions do that. I've gotten so much better with that. But see, that's one of my life lessons this life. Because I spent most of my other lives in the desert as an ascetic, and Tibet as a monk at how many thousands of feet up there in the caves and the monasteries, transcribing Bibles. So for me in this life, I had to get a big dose of, you're going to be an emotional artist. Oh my God. You're going to have to deal with this in the outer world. You're going to have to learn to control yourself. And we're going to give you the opportunity. Yeah, you can live pretty much in haram. You can live pretty much in the safety of your own work. But guess what? You got to put it out there. This is why you and Tammy Janu before you took me 10 years to do this, to agree to do this. Why was that? Well, I was like, oh my God, what are people going to say? What if I say something wrong? Well, who cares? So what? Who cares? We all contradict ourselves. Who cares? You work through it. And I'm not trying to be anybody but myself. Luckily, because I don't think I do it very well, actually.
You gave a really great example of how reluctant you were, and how that a lot of people are the same way with their passions and their purposes. Very hesitant to go down a path, even though that's the path that they ought to be taking.
I have had a lot of years of training. I've been put in what I call schools, and they went anywhere from weeks to months to years to decades. And because of that, I think I wasn't ready to do this either. Marrying my husband and moving to Montana during my Saturn return totally changed my life. Like, okay, Zoli, you got to finish your degrees. You're now married. You don't have 1,000 animals to deal with on a farm. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to get down to work. So I think the time that you're in has a lot to do with that too. I have gal friends that are raising kids. They don't have time to do this, or this. You know, a lot of it is what is your life and the dignity of our daily life. That's also the simplicity. If I'm doing 5 loads of laundry because my husband, because we're in hunting season, there's a dignity of that. You know, if there's a half a deer hanging in our garage and now I've cut off this, or this, and it's in the kitchen, that's dignity in that. You know, you're doing things to make yourself survive on a daily basis. That's lower chakra. But you do it for the purpose of moving forward. That deer isn't going to butcher itself. You know, it's not going to grind itself up with a bunch of bacon into sausage. It's not. I have to put forth the effort, just as with this spiritual work. So I think when I was finally ready to talk about this online first, and then the podcast, now the radio, I feel unstoppable with this because I know that it's the right thing for me to be doing. It may not be for anybody else. It may not be, but I feel relaxed with it. I love this. I never have to prepare for it. It's just there. It's just part of my life. And I think that is the gift. When you find that, when you find what you came here to do, that sort of grace and elegance is always, always going to be present for you.
So look for that ease when, and that will help you see you're on the path you should be.
I think so. There's a magic that happens that's so beautiful whenever any of us, and I've seen this in so many other people. So I said, I'm not a counselor. Oh my God, I don't have the patience. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. But what I have seen in other people that I've just been talking to or watched them grow, it's always the same thing, that I or these other people have found something that is mysterious in a way. It's like, how did this happen? But it feels so right. I might not even know. Or I've been working so hard for a long time and now things are falling into place. There's all kind of different methods and there's techniques, but I think what happens is we have to find, what were we sent here to do? What is your soul message? What is at least one piece of that that you know absolutely is the right path for you? You will know it, and you know that right now. I can guarantee you, you do. You may not have all the pieces, but I guarantee you, you know within yourself the difference in right and wrong, and the difference in what is right with your work and what's just not gonna work.
Yes, that's true. It's just like you always say, it's taking that first step or just try. You know where you need to be, so just keep trying and the magic will happen.
Oh, that trying's so important. As I've joked so much, truthfully joked that in my life, I came to that late